Everybody could take a seat, please. Wow. All right, well, welcome back to day 2. And I'm happy to turn the podium over to Lonnie King.
Thanks, Dave, and welcome back to everybody. I hope you had a good evening and an opportunity to kind of reflect on yesterday's presentations and some really great discussions. So there's really some impressive progress that's been made just as I think about over just the last few years, and my compliments to the many groups and the progress that they're making as we move forward. But kind of as my reflection, maybe we can compare notes on that, is that we really are moving into globally into really a planning area stage. Other folks have moved further, but if you look at all the national plans that are now being put together, we're really talking about plans. Global organizations, national plans. There's some early implementation strategies for sure. We heard about education and industry progress, things happening in animal agriculture. But for me, it's just one of my aspirations is to be a mountain climber. I don't think I'll ever happen, but it's still an aspiration. And if you look about how they do that, they have base camps. So this is kind of, for me, is just kind of like base camps. And so the summit is, is what we're really trying to achieve. And for me, we're kind of at base camp 1, and some people are at base camp 2. There's 3 base camps before you really summit. So those base camps are for acclimation, preparation, adjustments, getting to the next level. So that's where we are. We've had this awareness. We had these plans and directions. There's certainly been a commitment. Some people moved from base camp 1 to base camp 2. They're out ahead. They've got good momentum. People are climbing at different speeds. And when we talked about One Health yesterday, and we see actions in all of the domains right now, which we hadn't seen before, they still are actions within their domains, and they're not integrated into a strategy. And that integration still has to take place. So, it's kind of uneven. And what's worrisome about these base camps are that people reflect, and they're almost a point of inflection. And people can do one of 2 things. They can kind of give up and kind of go back, or things get harder, and they have to recommit with good leadership to kind of move forward. And it's a time that I think you're very susceptible to stalling out. I've been involved in a number of major national eradication campaigns and programs, and that stalling out is really an issue where you have momentum and something happens or events overtake you and you'll stall out. So I think it's the thing that KG was talking about is a wobbling time, and that's kind of where we are. So I think one of the things we can do as we kind of complete our work today is to take what we've done at this meeting, and especially as we work through our small groups this afternoon, and try to simplify things a little bit. I saw one national plan that had almost 300 goals. It's hard to get your arms around that. And you can stall out, and you don't get to the next base camp, I think, as you go. So I think for us, it's to simplify, to focus, and to act. And people can't act if they have 300 goals, but they can act if we prioritize those, set the direction to the next base camp, and I think that's really kind of where we are today. So that's what I'd hope we'll do with the rest of the day. We're going to talk about reducing the need for antibiotics. It's going to be our first session, moderated by Dr. Kent Kester. And then we're going to talk about strengthening partnerships locally and globally. And then we'll come back and talk about these breakout groups and how important it is to make these priority and to simplify our actions and to focus. What is it that we can do to define, to make the most progress, that's most cost effective. And as we do these things, we gain confidence and learn as we move from one base camp to the next. So the forum has this unique status. It's a National Academies of Science. So we have to leverage this opportunity, I think, as an impetus to act, but find out what's achievable, what's practical, results-oriented. And if we can do that today, all the things we've heard, and deliver that, I think it becomes kind of a galvanizing moment then to move from where we are today, which is somewhat wobbly, into the next step and really solidify that activity and that commitment. So that's what we hope to get out of the rest of the day. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Kestner and his group, and we'll get started with the panel. So we got a lot to cover today as Kent gets ready. So I want to make sure that we stay on time in our presentations so that we have time for discussion and questions and, as we go through the day. So Dr. Kester, thank you.